Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. The recent coup in Gabon seems to be sending some chills among African dictators and some African countries, Kenya included. And I'm saying that because already former IBC chair Wafula Chebukati has already responded to the coup in Gabon. And when Chebukati speaks, it might be very clear he might be exposing the jitters in Kenya Kwanza Alliance, all those with similar thoughts as Wafula Chebukati, going on what happened in Kenya in 2017 and in 2022 presidential elections. Chebukati blames avalanche of military coups in Africa to lack of election observers. Chebukati believes that there are coups in Africa because there are no observers, election observers in Africa. But the big question is, are the observers doing any help to prevent or to avoid the coups or to avoid election rigging? And I'm asking that question because in Kenya, we have been having observers all along, but our elections have never been free and fair. In fact, in 2007, it was very clear that election was rigged. Observers were there. In fact, they did nothing to stop the rigging or to avoid the rigging, if anything. In 2017, again, the observers, in this case, even the US observer John Kerry, gave the election a clean bill of health, only for the Supreme Court to overturn that presidential election. So Kenya's been having observers all along, but the observers have not been able to stop the rigging. In fact, they've just been sanitizing the rigged elections. In this video, I want us to dig deep into this for Kenyans to understand exactly what's going on and why William Ruto and his team might not be sitting pretty seeing what is happening in other African countries. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. Any person who may want to support our forum, contact me through that number below. Let's proceed. African dictators are clearly perturbed as a result of the recent coups happening across Africa. As I speak, Rwandan leader Kagame has already reorganized his military structure and the security team in his country. A confirmation that the coups in Africa are sending chills among some African dictators. If you look at what happened in Gabon, the dispossessed president took over power after the death of his father. That was in 2009. He had been in power for about 14 years. And from the election that happened just some few days ago, the Electoral Commission in his country, Gabon, gave him a win of about 64%. The opposition was given around 30-something%. And it was very clear that removing that person from power through the ballot was going to be very difficult, even in the subsequent presidential elections. The reason being they are using the electoral systems in their countries, and in this case Gabon, to rig themselves in office. And to add salt into injury, in Gabon, the late president, did away with the presidential term limits. So a president in Gabon could just rule till his last day on earth. And it was very clear the Bongo family had overstayed in power. In Kenya, since independence, Kenya has been ruled by two communities, the Kikuyus and the Kalenjins, and that's a fact. These two communities have just been rotating power between themselves. And if you look at Kenya in 2023, we have William Ruto, the president, Rigathi Gachagua, as his deputy. The plan is very simple. Upon William Ruto leaving power, Rigathi is obviously to succeed him, or somebody from the mountain to obviously succeed William Ruto. That person from the mountain succeeding William Ruto will most definitely pick somebody from the Kalenjin Rift Valley. And the circle will continue till maybe Jesus comes back. So it's actually true that since independence, other Kenyan communities have been dominated by two tribes. And these two tribes, upon getting that power, what we are seeing is nepotism, corruption, total police brutality, and all other ills. And they're doing it with a lot of impunity to a point a whole president can threaten an assassination on an investor. And he's doing that in broad daylight with a lot of arrogance. And he's doing that most definitely because he knows Kenyans can do nothing to him. So already this is a leader who knows that his election or the subsequent elections will not be about the people deciding. Already has found his way on how he will win or rig himself in that next election. And that's why they're really behaving and acting with a lot of impunity. If you compare this, if you compare Kenya to these other African countries where we are seeing coups, they are just going through the same problems. In Kenya, we are seeing ethnic domination, and leaders actually, upon getting that power, they are unleashing police brutality, or they are now unleashing instruments of power against the people, similar to these other African countries. Before the coups, the leaders really used excess force on the people. In fact, in Gabon in 2016, after Ali Bongo was re-elected, after assuming power in 2009, he was re-elected in 2016. It's a 7-year term, it's a 7-year duration. After being re-elected in 2016, there were lots of human rights violations, lots of police brutalities, and that was the trend in Gabon. And even if you look at Niger, where we also saw a coup some few weeks ago, that has been the same trend. So Kenya and these other countries, they are suffering somehow similar problems. Those in power are unleashing a lot of force and police brutality on their people. It's as if it's now dictatorship. Rather, it's a dictatorship. And now, from those sentiments by Chebukati, Chebukati just exposes that the jitters, he exposes the jitters in most definitely Kenya Kwanza alliance. Because looking at this Kenya Kwanza team, it's very clear from the way they're doing things that they know they never won the election of 2022 free and fair. Chebukati is just trying to exonerate himself and to be seen that he conducted a proper election. Who actually invited him to speak about what is happening in Gabon? He knows in 2017 he messed himself up. In 2022 he also messed himself up. He's just trying to exonerate himself because he's guilty of what happened in those two presidential elections. Let me stop it there for now, ladies and gentlemen. If you are watching us but have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. And to our fans and subscribers here, I'm very much humbled, very grateful for the kind of support you are giving me here. God bless you. God bless Kenya. Any other person who may want to support our forum, because some have been asking for that, send all your support to that number below. Yes. Send all your support to that number. The coups happening across Africa are clearly sending chills amongst African dictators. And if a poll was to be done in Kenya, I don't know whether Kenyans would say about the coups, but that's a story for another day. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you.